should go and film that dead body. No, we shouldn't. Well,
In this episode, we get a pet, find this, and fight to the death. Good morning. We showed you the outside of our little hotel here yesterday, but we figured we'd give you the grand tour. As you can see, it's actually a pretty vibrant looking building, especially here where everything else sort of just looks like concrete and stuff. Not to talk trash about it, but it's just, there's no color in any of the buildings. And then all of a sudden, bam, you have color. And it seems to be that this might be the newest, maybe structure on the entire island. And it's made out of container vessels. So if you see the outside of this, like this door, like opens and closes, like it's made out of shipping containers. And we are over here in number 1, 2 out of like, I think 6. And yeah, I mean, we have our own storm doors here. And as you step in, you can see basically the entire thing.
I'm cargo.
You are. We start off like with the Genkan area where you're supposed to take your shoes off, and they ask you not to bring in sand and stuff because people can be doing diving and swimming and stuff on the island.
That makes sense.
It does make sense. The inside is a weird mixture of very like fine and nice-ish mixed with like the table here is like super scratched up and clearly the table.
I thought that was crumbs from you eating peanuts.
No.
And I was like, wow, I'm not cleaning that up. That's the peanut boy's problem. I seriously did that. I was like, no, I'm not worried about that.
But it seems a bit of like a hodgepodge of furniture that they maybe just had available. Which I guess on an island like this, it could be hard to import nice furniture. It makes sense. But it just sort of, I mean, it's functional-ish, but there's not enough room. And the bed is smaller than is comfortable.
Yes.
To say the least.
And the pillows are bigger than is comfortable.
Put your body on the bed and then spread your arms out. Like, that's not a Katie and an Eric's worth of bed. But it's only 2 nights. We will survive.
Well, survived one. I don't know if you're going to survive the next one, because I can tell you right now I'm going to be kicking tonight. God damn, last night was not great. I'm going to start counting how many bad nights of sleep I have on vacations. This is 2 nights. All of the nights. Not great sleep.
And let me ask you a question. Do you think they could just stop putting TVs in rooms?
I thought about turning it on and watching the news this morning.
Oh, fair enough.
That's only because we can't watch news at home. If I had news at home, I'd be like, I don't care about that.
And the restroom?
Yeah.
Is this little plastic, it's like a normal Japanese thing, but it's plastic, but it's, because it's so small in here, like the bathroom has the toilet and the bathing area, and this is very small and cramped for anybody of my size. I can't imagine it's really comfortable for anyone, to be honest. Maybe a small child would be okay, but like any adults would be like, nah, this is pretty small, but I'm dealing with it. But it gets what's exponentially? What's the word?
I need to know the rest of the sentence.
Exponentially worse. Like,
why is there a mention?
I don't know. How do you say the word?
Exponentially.
Exponentially worse with
weird.
each century that you get taller.
Yeah. But one thing I'm happy about with that bathroom is I didn't end up having the shower curtain come and touch me. Like while I don't know if like the draft in the room was appropriate or that it was a quality shower curtain or whatever, but it didn't like drift and touch my butt like while I was trying to take a shower. I don't like that.
We asked our hotel hostess where we could get some breakfast, and she was like, well, there's a place that maybe has breakfast, but probably not. I don't know, most people just go to the convenience store, the supermarkets, you called it. So we drove by the place that maybe had breakfast, and it looked closed. It's just like a hotel. I don't know what's going on there. So we were like, okay, we'll drive 2 more minutes, and we'll go back to the supermarkets. And we have not checked both supermarkets because
I didn't check the other supermarket for yogurt.
we were hoping for like some onigiris with like spam and egg or something like that, like in those lines.
It's just pretty traditional, like Okinawan food, and we saw it yesterday at lunchtime, but it's not there now. So we don't know if like all the food came and it got scooped up by workers, or if we have just, or that it's not ready. It only comes for lunch.
I don't know what the situation is, but regardless, we're just in the supermarket now, kind of hunting like pre-made packaged whatevers, and that's going to be breakfast. And then the place that we're going for lunch, turns out it's the same place that's supposed to serve breakfast, so I have no idea if that's going to work out either.
I'm going to give this to you, and
you will
purchase your stuff. We're going over to the other supermarket to see if there's yogurt.
We've headed to the coast from the supermarket. Took about 2 minutes. We drove over the mountain that we went up last night. Mountain. And we're going to have our breakfast here just because it's a nice place to sit. We have a cool view of the ocean from the car because you can just kind of put your car wherever the hell you want. Katie's
making a mess.
Making a mess for here. What are you doing here? Hold on a second. Let's get a...
It's like there's a hole in this cap.
What is happening?
I'm going to need better help than you getting the camera. Well, I really need some sort of absorbent thing. There's a hole in the cap, like no lie. It's just leaking. Oh.
Now, where are we gonna get an this? I don't know if I have any oshibori or anything like that.
There's tons of holes in the cap. Wow, I never would have thought that. Okay.
How did the cap keep the liquid in here?
I don't know.
What is going on? Anyways.
Wait. I have an absorbent thing.
Yeah, you got the bread. Where did the Eric snacks go? I think I will only dip into, I'll show you what I got. Most of it's not that interesting. But I got the closest thing to the pork and egg thing that they had available. This is not the pork and egg thing. This is just a green smoothie. These are dope. You should get them if you come to Japan and try them. They're tasty. This is just like a little fruit cup. It's like a Jell-O kind of fruit cup with peaches in it. And they are, you don't need to try these. They're fine, but it's not like explosive. But what I got, the closest thing.
Like every one of these rivets on here is a hole.
It must be.
And it stayed closed because it has this plastic inner area. So, and I think those holes are there so when you open it, it has a release of air in some way.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
But yeah, that was very unexpected. I was like, this cap will hold this liquid. I was wrong. I was really wrong about that.
So this is the closest thing I could find to a piece of pork with egg. And it is kind of I'm going to assume it's probably a Swedish bread with cheese and a wrinkly old wiener.
Why would you assume Swedish?
No, sweet.
Oh, sweetish.
Yeah.
Sweetish, not Swedish.
And it was in the 50% off bin, so that's good. It was really, really cheap.
Mine is the second half of yesterday's breakfast. Yes.
And it's cold. And I don't have a spoon to eat this. She didn't put one in the bag, and I forgot to ask. There's a big weird bug in here.
Ooh, that's a cockroach.
Yep.
It's a fucking cockroach. That was some of our best footage, I think.
In other news...
No, go back. No, we're not leaving the current news. Why was that cockroach albino? Oh, shit. That's a beach cockroach now. He's no longer a car cockroach.
I don't know if I've ever seen a cockroach in a car before.
I don't even know how to assess.
Anyway.
I'm over here like puddling coffee all over the place. You don't have a spoon to eat like an adult. I don't know what we're gonna do about that. The car is infested with bugs.
In other news, it's super windy, but it's colder today and more cloud cover, so I'm a little worried it's going to be colder. So I'm really happy that we did the walking portion of our tour yesterday when it was kind of sunshiny, and now we have a car for the rest of the time around the island. So that's good news. And we are sitting at the coast and we are looking out, and there's an island there, and we looked it up on Google Maps, and it's a little island called Mina Island.
It is the Tarama of Tarama.
And what's funny about that is that, so you've got the Okinawa Island, and then you've got Miyako, which is like smaller, and then you've got Tarama, and then you've got Mina. And it's apparently only accessible by boat, but the waves are incredibly high here.
No. Oh, are you going to tell more?
Yeah. It's only accessible by boat, but the waves are so high right now. And my understanding is the ferries are just canceled during the winter, so you couldn't get there and back on the winter. And the other way, there's a helipad. There's no like airport or anything over there. It's way too small. So I don't have any idea. Are there people living there? Because when you zoom in on a Google Maps, you can see infrastructure. There's like a road, and there looks like there might be farm and stuff like that on there. So I don't know if somebody lives out there and if they're just like, okay, it's winter, I'm here for the entire winter by myself. And maybe that's where all of the pork sandwiches went. Like maybe they made their like one run or something, and they like collected them all up, and they've got like yesterday? 6 months. Yeah, maybe. I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know. Did you see any helicopters yesterday? Anyways, there's an island out there. I kind of want to go there, because it would be cool to go to an even smaller little island.
You want to live there for the winter?
Yeah, I would.
If somebody gave me the little shisa?
If somebody gave me, if somebody gave me the opportunity to go and live on that island for the winter, I would do it. That'd be a cool experience.
I'd go.
Yeah, that would be cool.
You asked me when I'd get bored of this place, and I just thought to myself, I'd probably try to be unbored when you have such a small place. Be unbored.
Like start learning about like the flora and fauna and stuff, like go deep on it, like so you understand every little thing.
No, I was just thinking about finding all the secret places and bugging all the locals. That's what I was gonna do.
This island seems like it's like inhabited by mostly old ladies. That seems to be what I keep seeing all of.
Yeah, all the old men are dead.
Well, I don't know about that. There's been some older, the really old people seem to be ladies, but there's been there's like construction worker dudes. Like when we went to the izakaya yesterday, you were the only woman in the room except for the woman that was running the place. What are we gonna do today? We should drive all the way around the island at some point.
Oh, we're definitely doing that.
Just one time, just all the way around. Yeah.
Oh, like not stopping?
Yeah. Just.
Okay.
We could do that once. I don't know. Be fun. Before we get going, I thought I'd explain something about this little car that's a little bit quirky. When the lady gave us the key, it's one of these little key fob things. She was like, you don't put it in, but you turn. And then she got confused and we got confused. And like Katie was like, wait, what? And like, you don't put it in, but you turn. And like we were looking at the key fob thinking it was one of those, like you push a button and like a key comes out and then you put it in and turn. And she was like, no, you don't have to do that, but you still have to turn. Like what? And it makes sense when you see it, and I'll show that to you in a second. But the other thing that's bizarre is this is the shifter for like engaging the drive. Like it sticks out of the thing sideways. I don't know if I've ever even seen this before, but
I've definitely seen those before.
Have you seen this? Like this?
Oh yeah.
Is this a Japanese car thing?
No, it's not a Japanese car thing, but it's a thing that cars have had in the past. They don't have it so much anymore.
I think what's weird. No. Like I think it's weird because it comes out and it's a handle. It's not just like a thing that goes up and down like this. It's not, you know what I mean? Like the handle part is what is like
I see.
Peculiar to me, just the shape of it. But yeah, the thing. So this has to be in the car in your pocket or whatever like that. But then you take and you got to turn the thing back here. Like how can I get there? There we go. So this has still got like a thing you turn to turn the car on. It's not like a button. It's weird. I've never seen that either, but a minute ago you were like, this is normal, I don't know what you're talking about. So I don't know, maybe I'm just dumb.
Yeah, the handle part to it is kind of strange. Like normally they'd just be, I don't know what they'd be now that I think about it. Like I remember them being up there, like people going choo 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 choo.
Yeah. Like on the steering wheel doesn't weird me out. It's just something about this handle mechanism that feels peculiar. Oh, it was super zoomed in the entire time. We've done our first activity of the day. Well, I guess it's not the first. The first getting breakfast was quite an activity. Mm-hmm. And then like pest control.
Pest control was the second activity of the day.
We've now driven around the entire island on the outside circumference, and we got a little bit lost at one point, had to do a U-turn, get back over to the coast. The whole thing took 24 minutes. Mm-hmm. So that's how small the island is. Everything is inside of, that's like the longest route you could take.
Yeah.
So now it's time to like maybe aim at some things and explore them. And you said that we can maybe see an airplane land. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so we have to be at the airport at 11:55. It is 11 o'clock now, so we got to find something to do for like 45 minutes.
Because if we miss it, it's the only airplane landing today.
Well, it will also go out at 12:25. So we can watch one go out and watch one take off. Today, and then that's it.
We hopped out of the car. This is the same place that I went down last night and I stuck my feet in the water, right? And we looked off the edge of this thing and we saw this guy. And we were like, is that a person? Like, what is that? I'll show you what it is, and it's creepy. It's a dummy or something. It's like, I mean, it's a person-shaped object. And then it's this trash inside of it or something, but it looks like a dead body from a distance. It almost looks like a dead body from this distance.
This is what the island looks like. This is a fucking awesome map. I love when maps really give you an understanding of where you are, even better than like just looking around. Look around you. We are currently here at one of the top parks for swimming, etc. on the island. We went all the way around. That took 24 minutes. Now we're gonna go down over here. There's supposed to be like a, I don't know if it's a putt-putt place or a golfing place, but we saw something to do with the ball game. So we're gonna go down here, see how that's going, and then maybe try and catch the planes happening over here at 11:55.
I noticed you said planes with an S.
Oh, it's just the one. It's just the one.
The navvy of this renty-car.
What's a renty-car? Oh, you know that forever they're gonna be renty-cars, right?
Okay, hold on.
You need to talk to the lady at the hotel and be like, thanks for the renty-car.
Okay, hold on. Let's do this again. The navvy of this renty-car has got dots on the map.
Just committed.
And the dots are the history of where the car has been. And we find this interesting that maybe the car has never been to some of these like little roads. So we're thinking about just like doing like a reverse game of Pac-Man and laying out our own dots and putting them down. But we've also noticed that there are areas where there are not technically roads on the navvy where the car has been. So we're going to try and just follow those dots and go where that is, because that means there must be some sort of path, right? All right. I don't think we should go down there, because it's like there's all sorts of like construction and stuff going on. Yeah. We're not gonna do it. I chickened out. There was a guy in that car looking at us too. I don't think he cared, but
they're really worried about traffic accidents, but we have yet to see a living police officer. He's got it handled.
we managed to see the airplane of the day land. It's actually pretty cool too. We got a really good little view that maybe we weren't supposed to go into, but I think it's okay.
Definitely weren't. It says don't go in there, right in front of us.
Well, I'm just going to assume that that means for cars, because it's on a road, it's road size. There's not one that specifically says anything, and I can't read those kanjis anyways. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the plane landed and it was cool, and it was maybe the same plane that we took yesterday. I don't know how many of these planes there are. I don't think there's a huge fleet going between these two islands, and I don't think you can fly direct from this island to any place but Miyakojima, can you? Can you go straight to Okinawa? I don't think you can. I think anybody that ever
Yeah,
comes
you
here has to go to Miyakojima
You have
first.
to hop to Miyakojima. The flights that happen here, which is the arrival and the departure,
Yeah.
both go and come from
Miyakojima. Okay, that's... It is, however, quite chilly. This is not beach weather, even though we're in almost the most southern part of Japan. It's still like December, and it's still pretty like... I mean, I have 2 hoodies on now to keep myself from freezing to death. And you brought your big coat. I'm surprised you haven't bundled up in it yet.
I should have, and when we got out there, I was like, I should probably put it on. But once I saw the plane, I was like, I can't leave. I just have to. I gotta tough it out here.
We've driven back and forth across this road like 4 times now, and these cats just keep coming out in the road in front of the car and stopping. The island is covered with cats, but usually they're skittish. These are chatty. I think it wants food. I don't have any food, kitty. I have peanuts. Do you like peanuts? Yeah, you're real chatty. Wow, you're friendly. Katie, do not let the cat get it. Katie, I don't think he can eat peanuts. I don't think he's got the right gear. Did you find a thing?
These are all little creatures. They're little white shells, like some sort of mollusk inside, and it's quite red, so it looks kind of bloody in a way, like the thing has died and seems kind of sad, like you're seeing its last little bit.
Is it like alive, you think, like now?
No, I flicked one and it didn't move at all.
How would you like it? You're not moving, you're just sitting there.
Motherfucker, you kicked what you thought was a dead person this morning. Get off my nuts. Yeah, there's a ton of them around this, and it doesn't look like this tree fell from like right here over. So either it came out of the water and all of these animals came with it from the water, which kind of seems unlikely as well. I don't know where this came from.
I think you're right. I would have washed up, dude.
Washed up, or it fell from above, but then that wouldn't explain the animals. So this is a weird find.
Little cove down here. It's like, a little secluded thing. Of course, it's got like a lot of trash on it that's been washed up out of the ocean because humans are terrible. But the thing that is most notable, aside from the fact that there's like a pretty cool container ship going by out there, probably where a lot of the trash just fall out, right? Isn't that how that works? Like all the Garfield phones fall into the water or something, and then they wash up on beaches for 100 years. Anyway, where am I? The thing that's most interesting to me about this, and if you have like rudimentary Japanese linguistical knowledge, this might be of interest to you. And I'm assuming this is something to do with Okinawa, but I have no idea what's going on. The name of this, and we've noticed this on some of the maps, is written in katakana, which is probably, it could be a multitude of things, but I'm assuming because of one little piece that this is because it's being adapted from an Okinawan language as opposed to just like normal Japanese, right? But you've got an E, okay, this makes sense, but the second character is a katakana for ri. But then they put a modifier, maruten, I guess is what you call these things. Dakuten is the dots. This one's maruten. I don't know. This little thing is usually supposed to make a sound, make a p kind of sound, right? But you don't do this in Japanese with a ri. A ri doesn't turn into, I don't know why, I don't have any idea what to do with that. Like, ri with a p, bri? I don't know what this is. This is not like standard Japanese. And at first when we saw it printed on something, we were like, oh, somebody made a mistake. I don't think so. It's on this stone tablet. I don't think somebody made a mistake here. We've come back over to the place that we were going to maybe have breakfast at, but didn't have breakfast because, well, we didn't go in. It just didn't look like I had breakfast. And apparently it's like a small little hotel and also a restaurant. So Katie's gone inside and I can see her talking to the staff. And she's asking, is there like a restaurant here? Like what's happening? But I think the likelihood of us eating in there is pretty low. I think we're going to end up, we're going to end up back at the place that we had lunch yesterday. Because I think it's the only restaurant that operates for lunch that we can tell, that we can decipher.
To the Shokudo. Yeah, their restaurant isn't doing anything here. And she said you can go to the Shokudo. I told her we ate there yesterday. She said you could try getting a bento at the supermarket. So those are like the 3 food options: is no food at a restaurant that might exist, that doesn't exist, or isn't operating.
You mean?
Food at the supermarket, or going back and having soba again. We've already done all of the food options. We have already done them all. Where are the peanuts? In a jar. Okay.
How come you don't use the jug?
I like to do the mumbo one.
Oh.
I really like tactile eating. I like to carve up my apples. I like to have a whole movement. You're over there just chugging peanuts. Another reason that we came over to this area is because I watched a video on the tourism website, and it showed 2 goats fighting in a pen. And we drove by this, and I was like, that's the pen! That's the goat fighting pen! 2 goats enter, 2 goats leave. It's just a show. They don't hurt each other too much, I don't think. But they do fight. And it's not goat fighting season, so I'm gonna have to ask you to enter the ring, sir. So nobody told us about this place. We've asked like where to eat, what to do. No one has introduced the place that we're at right now. Seems kind of like a tourist information center with little cubes that you can sit in, and like the things on this list are like copy and printing prices. So not only would it work as like a tourist center, it might also just be a community center where you can come and get things done. You could use this as your workstation if you were teleworking. It's bizarre. We noticed that you could purchase like little goodies out there that are specific to the island, so we got a bunch of those. And then I asked, because on the outside of the building it says that there's a shokudo, a cafeteria in here. So I asked, like, is it operating right now? And she said, yeah, you can have this or this or this. So we've ordered curry at a place that no one knows exists. And I think the curry is gonna come, and we're gonna eat it in the little cube. Well, I feel pretty lucky.
The food looks good. Now, hold on. When you introduced this place, you were like, yeah, there were a bunch of things on the menu. No, there were 2 things on the menu. Curry and curry, one with vegetables.
No.
And then there was a bunch of cakes and coffees and stuff. But as far as meals go, on the island there are 2 meals. There is curry, and there is the soba. Tarama soba.
Lunch only has 2 meals. Dinner has more meals, but I wouldn't recommend.
It was okay. It was fine. I don't know what we're going to do tonight.
I have a feeling I can do that.
What?
Well, I couldn't make the egg
you can make that stuff
as
at home.
Nice as he made it. I can make it more flavorful. But
so
anyway.
This we were talking about last night. This curry is made with brown sugar, and I'm not sure if it's brown sugar from the area, but I know it's brown sugar from Okinawa. And
that's a sweet curry.
I believe it's going to be a keema, and then mine has got some vegetables on it, and then some rice.
You can taste the sweetness.
You can.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty good. It's not totally unheard of. I've put like honey into keema curry sometimes, like the packets at home, just for like the hell of it, and it's like always been like, yeah, this is fine. That's pretty good. I don't know if I find it to be like remarkable, and I'm a little worried about the portion size, to be honest. It doesn't seem like very much food. But I'm happy to be
just
eating
keep that stomach open for the Spam for dinner.
You may be happy about the something different right now. And I asked the girl that works here, who is like a younger girl, and I was like, what's the deal with that character, with the katakana character, with the ri, with the maruden, the thing that's supposed to make like a p sound? And she was like, I don't know how to say that. She said it was really difficult. She said she's not from the island, And I asked her if it was like an Okinawan, like from an Okinawan language thing, and she was like, it's specifically from
this
island. So this island, according to the staff member here, is where that sound comes from that she couldn't make.
She said it was kind of like a no sound, but...
And she seemed unsure of herself.
Yeah. So that was interesting. So we've seen that Tarama has black sugar stuff around. We've had the candies yesterday, we saw some drinks. It is an export of some sort. So we're assuming...
It's in the curry.
It was in the curry, yeah. We're assuming that what's behind us is sugarcane. And what would make it black? What's the part that makes it black? I don't understand that part. This looks like other sugarcane I've ever seen, you know? And I obviously have seen a lot. But honestly, I haven't seen a lot because we're over here sniffing this, trying to figure out what's sugar smell like.
You gotta put one through those presses.
Yeah, I gotta put it through the press and get a cup. But it seems like when you take all the context of what's they're exporting and what their meibutsu is and all that stuff, that's what I think we're looking at here. And it's all over the place. There are tons and tons. Like on the aerial view map that we showed you earlier this morning, there are tons of little farming plots, and that's what is there, is this stuff which we think is sugarcane. We found the renewable energy sector of the island. Behind us is the old runway, the old airport. We're basically standing on it. It is a very short runway, but what they've done with it since it has become defunct is they put a whole bunch of solar panels on it. Then over here, you've also got wind power being generated as well, which is very cool. And another sign that we're at an airport over there is the defunct terminal next to Albino Cockroach, the car.
We weren't like totally 100% sure that this was the old airport terminal, but we verified it. We kind of guessed because there's those markers on the top, like where they would put characters for Japanese lettering. It looks like there's enough space for it to be like Tarama Kuko. It would fit just perfectly on there. But also when you go and you like peek in the windows, you can see the listing of like the arrivals and departures timetable and stuff that they would have used back in the day. To say that we're a long way from other people would be a lie on this island, because you can't really be a long way from other people, but we are in the remote-ish part of the island. We're just driving down the road here, and of course, Japan, Blazao, vending machine, because of course there's a vending machine. Katie's throwing peanuts at me. What? These things are expensive. That's like $1 each. What are you doing to me? What's this? I don't have any idea why that got involved. Anyways, there's a vending machine. And I was driving by and I was like, okay, let's see. I saw this from a distance and I was like, that's pretty strange, but it's just some sort of special, like between One Piece and Wanda coffee, and like, it's just an advertisement. So it's not, I didn't know what this was. It looked peculiar. It looked like more than drinks. But everything on this vending machine appears to be out of stock, except for this coffee, this tea, this Bacardi Sweat, and whatever this is, an energy drink-ish type of thing. The thing that's peculiar about, okay, there's other stuff, but most of it is out of stock. This guy too. The thing that I found the oddest, look at this. These cans are just loose. What's going on here? Why? How? How come? What's going on? Oh, these are also in stock. You're a bit of a peanut chucker.
That's true. I think that's pretty fun to sit in the car and throw peanuts at you while you're out there. I've done it twice. Both times were pretty good.
Way earlier we said we were going to come looking for a golf course, and I'm not really sure if we finally made it to the golf course or not. We kept getting distracted, and then we ate lunch, and it was just, we've driven around the island like 4 times. But we have come to a field that looks like a golf course. I don't know, but the more important thing that struck our eye, or more interesting thing that caught our eye, was this guy here. And this is a device that is receiving signals from GPS satellites, or GNSS specifically satellites, that are transmitting location data down. And then this thing is immediately transferring it to a research center in Ibaraki, which is north of Tokyo. and they are using the information that's collected from this and other similar devices around, I'm assuming Japan. Maybe they have them international for this. I don't know. There's at least one and it's here. And they're using that to keep an eye on like volcanic activity and like if earthquakes move the land and like things like that. It's just neat to find these things in like these like little far flung, it's the side of a maybe golf course. Like, it's just cool to come across it and find it. We're like, what is that thing? Is that thing going to space? It's just kind of signals are coming from space to Ibaraki.
The cool thing that's happening here is that they're writing out for you what's happening. They're letting you know what this thing is doing. In so many situations and other things, you'll see some structure that seems like it's serving a purpose, but there's no documentation for the viewer to understand why it's there or what it's doing. And I think Japan does a good job of just telling you, hey, we did a thing, here's a plaque, now you understand. And that's pretty cool.
If that was true, we'd know what this hole was.
No.
Who lives in this? Is it a golf hole?
You about to get your face eaten off, I'm waiting.
What's in here?
We're back at the cube. We noticed earlier when we were in here going through like the omiyage shop area that they had ice cream that was specific to here. One of them is just the black sugar that we have been talking a lot about and eating a lot of. And the other one is a sasage. And it's a special type of bean that's here, like a tofu kind of bean.
This is a black bean.
Just black bean. Don't want to go too far. We've seen some people hand digging things out of the ground, and I was starting to wonder if maybe that's what they're digging out of the ground. But here's how it looks.
It looks like ice cream. And we also...
It smells like air.
We're given some black sugar, like liquid black sugar stuffs. She said to put that onto the actual ice cream.
I was also given that for my coffee.
And my tea is apparently made out of flowers from the island. So it's like a herbal flower tea.
I wonder if it's the special flower.
Yeah, there is some sort of special flower.
They have their
mentioned.
own island flower that looks really cool. It's orange. There's a big mural outside on the wall. Wow, it's like molasses.
Tastes like an herbal tea. I'm not a big fan of herbal tea, to be completely honest with you. It's fine, but it's not like what I would like. If it wasn't the special one from the island, there's no way I would have been like, yeah, hook me up.
Sounds like a guy with a cup of tea he doesn't like. That felt good. All right, let me jump into these beans.
Yeah, man. It's fika time, by the way. And by the way, we're going to be doing a fika, and hold on, what, did you just jump in without cheersing? You didn't, you know what, that's fine. This is the first step to today's Festivus, guys.
Yep.
And I am going to air some grievances about Katie. You didn't cheers the fika that's supposed to be to Festivus.
Oh, to Festivus, I was going to do it to that pretty girl.
Yeah, she's pretty nice too.
Yeah, she's nice and she's pretty. I'll ask her questions. It's creamy.
It is creamy.
Wow.
It says it's a gelato. I don't know if it's like the traditional difference between a gelato and a ice cream.
It's a creamier.
Yeah, it is.
Good.
I think that one's pretty good, actually, the bean one. I would have expected this one to be the better one.
Oh, there goes pretty girl.
But
I get to watch her out the window. Not a voyeur, just she's doing things. I like watching people do things. Wait, that might be the statement of voyeurism.
It's voyeurism. Like, you're a voyeur, bro.
Oops. Then you are too.
We come to the southeast end of the island, and the ocean is like, it's like very close. I could walk to it in a minute. I can see the ocean right now. And there's a little shrine here And a lot of these little shrines, of which there aren't that many of on the island, there's only a few, but they all seem to be just like wrapped in like mysterious lore. People don't tend to seem like they actually know the origins of them, but they're a few hundred years old, and there's a bunch of theories about like why it's here. We're not really sure. This one was rebuilt in 1989. I saw a picture of it. I was like, what are we gonna do next? Which is basically what we're doing now. It's like Google mapping. I'm like, that looks fun. Let's drive to it. Oh, it's the other side of the island. We'll be there in 5 minutes. And this just looked, I saw the picture. It looked neat. It looked like kind of old and rustic and in a little forest. Apparently, it's supposed to be surrounded by specific types of Okinawan trees, some sort of like lily pad thing or something. I don't really understand what it means because I don't do plants. But the torii looks pretty neat, and the cracks in the side of it just make it feel like way older than 1989 when this was all rebuilt. Just got a cool vibe. We drove like another 2 feet to get to the ocean. And we've come over to the ferry port, which I believe is where we were planning on coming in when we thought a ferry was a thing you could take to come to the island. And before we came here, I was emailing people like to figure out like where can we stay and stuff. And I asked the people that said, yeah, we have open rooms on the nights you want. I was like, okay, well, like, what about the ferry? Like, am I gonna have to make a reservation for that? And she was like, you don't need a reservation for the ferry, but also it's almost always canceled in the winter because the waves are too high. So this is where we were planning on coming, and I told her, okay, well then in that case, then I'm just going to take an airplane, and that's what we ended up doing because the airplane doesn't get affected by waves, you know, Greyhound don't float on water. So, but this is like, this is the ferry port, y'all. Like, it's just like, it's rustic, you know what I mean? But I get the impression that almost everybody that comes here just flies, and any of the ferries that are coming are probably bringing cargo and things like that. So it doesn't really need to be, you know, beautiful or anything. But I don't think there's another ferry port that's like more like built up. I think this is it. Probably all the functions are just done on the boat. Personally, I'm not really clear what the deal is, but Kyde really likes land boats. I don't know why I've never figured this out.
This one has a tree.
What's the deal with liking land boats? Do you have any explanation to the lore? Is there a background so we can update the Wikipedia?
It's funny to say it. That's all. They don't go on the land, but there's so many on the land. Dinner is not going to be eventful.
Well, it's sort of eventful because we keep getting told that like everybody's like, yeah, well, we're like, where would we get food? And they're like, the supermarket. I guess what everybody keeps telling us, get it to the supermarket.
So we got breakfast at the supermarket. We had lunch out, and we're having dinner from the supermarket. But at the supermarket for dinner time, they did have like bentos and such. And we got our breakfast for tomorrow so that we don't fail tomorrow as we did this morning. So I think our bentos really aren't standouts. They're nothing that are particular to the island. It's just kind of food.
I got a teriyaki chicken bento, and I think, this is my hypothesis, that they found out that there were white people on the island, so they were like, we gotta put in the order for the teriyaki chicken. They love the teriyaki chicken.
There was more than two. How many white people are on the island in your imagination?
The two of us.
There was more than two.
There was more teriyaki chickens?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how many meals are we gonna eat? Everybody eats at the supermarket.
They checked with our hotel person. Well, how many meals are they gonna have?
How many nights are they gonna be?
Probably need to cook that many teriyaki chickens. Okay. Yeah.
So I got a teriyaki chicken bento with some vegetables and some things like that, and to me it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy about what I've landed with. And we also got a plate of sushi, like it's like that sushi stuff that's like in every convenience store.
Egg, fake kani, and cucumber wrapped into a nice little log and cut.
Like every single supermarket in Japan has these, so maybe this does count as a supermarket now. Maybe this is, or not a supermarket, but convenience store. It's a convenience store like standard.
Last night on the menu at the restaurant, they had fried gobo, and they have gobo in this as well. So I wonder if gobo is big on the island.
That's actually pretty good though. For real.
Gobo is good.
So we went to that izakaya last night, and it was fine. And there's another izakaya like next to it, which is the other izakaya. And we were like, okay, we'll either go there or we'll go to the supermarket. And we drove by the other izakaya, and they have a sign up saying they're closed the entire time we're here. So we will never eat there. So anyways, that's how we ended up landing here on this. Anyway, let me try some of this white people chicken. See what's up.
You're gonna have a big.
That's okay. I want a big bit of honky bait.
Wow. That bite did not look appealing to me at all.
It's good. I think I know why everybody's raving about the supermarket.
Oh, really?
No, that's why there's no other restaurants. Nobody can come in and compete.
With the supermarket.
Yeah, the supermarket's just taking over the whole game.
Last note on the supermarket is that I was like, okay, I'll make a sandwich. There was no bread. There was no bread.
I saw a lady in the other supermarket across the street with some bread. Maybe she had the last loaf.
She brought it from that store to sell it in the other one at a higher rate. Gonna make bank on this bread.
So we have one more kind of half a day here. We are leaving. Our flight tomorrow is like 4:25 or something like that. So we've got the car until 3 or 3:30. And then we're getting a ride to the airport where we're going to be going back to Miyakojima. So there will be more video that we'll be filming tomorrow. And then we'll be picking up a new set of videos in Miyakojima. So yeah, that's the thing. So anyways, that's the end of the filming for today. And if you were lucky, then you might have seen that this entire thing was just live streamed. So I'm just gonna like throw in like you should follow us on Twitch, because sometimes we do crazy stuff like stream from a tiny little island in the sea while we're shooting a YouTube video.
In a cargo container.
In a cargo container, that's what we're in.
I could be dropping my food.
They're not watching that pretty girl, they're watching this pretty girl.
Watching that pretty girl.
That's probably somebody's thing.
Yeah. I need like levels of pretty girl or can't really function.
To say that we're a long way from other people is peanuts. Yo, what's up? We are going to do a live stream from this little island we're at. And if you throw us a sub during the live stream, you get a squeak. You remember that cockroach?
Do you want some more noodles? I like that we both just picked random questions. There's a cockroach. Oh God, that albino cockroach in the car. What the fuck was that? It was like the ghost of a cockroach that once lived in the car. I've never seen something like that before or since.
You know what else we've got? We still got some goat soup up in there that we can munch on at some point. We should make a video about it and see how good the goat soup in the bag is.
We definitely should, but I want to point out that only one bag was purchased. And that's because you were like, I'm excited about this. And I was like, wow, that's just funky bits.
Maybe we'll make a video about the goat soup in the cupboard right there. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, we'll have more coming from Okinawa soonish, and that means sometime in February there'll be a couple more videos on their way. And if you want to help us continue to make these videos, the place to do that is Patreon, where we get to give you perks and we get to give you videos. No, they get to give us money. We get to give them perks and videos. That's how it works.
I thought it was that's really just a one-directional thing that you were trying to set up there.
And we've also got different things that you can do to help the video, as far as like leaving comments, hitting the like button, and subscribing if you haven't already, and all those things. And the bell, if there's a bell, still check to see if the bell's there before you click any random bells. Make sure it's the right bell. I don't know if the bell is still there. And what else have we got?
Twitch.
Yes.
Instagram.
Yes.
Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't use really any of these services.
Discord. We hang out on Discord.
There we go. Yes.
There you go. You named it all. You do kind of use Twitter because you say things, and I post on Twitter what you say.
Yeah, true.
So you've got a curator.
Yes.
Anyway, we'll have some more stuff coming soon. Hope everybody's looking forward to it too, because we're looking forward to sharing it.
I want to go back.
To Okinawa? Yeah. We should go sometime when it's warmer.
Yeah.